Hey guys, we're here with Brian Turner from Spacefire, and we're going to dive into the music industry and business, and he's going to tell you where he's at now, how he got here, and where he's going. So go ahead, Brian, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, on Facebook I'm Brian Charles Turner. I have my band is named Spacefire on SoundCloud. I write all original music. I have lived in many states, West Coast, Texas, Jersey, but I'm based in Jersey at the moment. I aspire to help others produce original music in the area with my studio, and I'm involved in a lot of musical projects.
Excellent. So tell us, how did you first get into the music industry? Was it something that you were born when you were little, you were banging pots and pans, you made a guitar in a rubber band, or how did you first, wow, this is music? How did that happen?
Well, my older brother worked for Bryan Adams and Eddie Money, and he went on tour with those guys.
Wow.
And another guy that some people know about named Eric Martin of Mr. Big. So my brother was a sound guy and a lighting guy, and he toured a lot. And I wanted to be like my big brother. He's like 5 years older than me. And he said, you know what? I think these mic cables are always covered in beer. So I got a job for you. You wrap up all the mic cables at the end of the night, and you can hang out with rock stars. So I would hang out with rock stars and wrap a lot of mic cables.
Wow.
And there was always like a black stripe right here, from wrapping cable. But I went to a show, a band called The Edge was playing in the Keystone, Berkeley, California. And I must have been 14 years old or so. And I saw this guy, Jimmy, and there's a pole in the middle of the room. And Jimmy climbs the pole with the mic in his back pocket. And, he pulls it out and he's singing to all these girls. And he's like, this beautiful love song singing down to these girls, and he slides down this pole, and it's so amazing. And I said, you know what? I need to be a lead singer and stop wrapping all these mic cables.
At 14 years old, you're probably like, whoa,
No
I think
way!
that's so big,
Jimmy
that's
had
so
all
cool.
the girls, it was really cool.
Yeah,
So I graduated from wrapping mic cables to running sound and running lights and being a tech. And, it went from there. I was a horrible singer when I first started singing.
Hey,
And
we all are.
it took a while.
Yeah, gotta start off from the bottom. You literally start off from the wire and work your way up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. So probably from the cables to that, you're like, wow, now I want to do something. So pull wires,
It was a slow crawl from,
Yeah.
carrying lots of milk crates full of cables around.
So now, did you first start singing, or did you first start playing an instrument, or how did you glide into it?
Well, that's actually a good legit question. At the time that I entered the music industry, I was in Dallas, Texas, and I joined a group that had two absolutely stunning lead guitar players. They were on the level of like Paul Gilbert level guys.
Wow.
And there was no place for me to play guitar. They just handed me a wireless, and they said, where's your spandex?
With Pantera in the background?
As a matter of fact, Diamond, Diamond Dimebag.
Diamond,
Was one of our
Legacy.
locals, and he's a quiet guy, and he was quite cool to hang out with. We've had a couple of moments where we hung out in these clubs in the Dallas scene prior to Pantera becoming releasing Cowboys.
Yeah, that's what's cool. You got these cool stories
So-
about these
so-
bands that are legacy now, and you're like,
And then it was amazing. Funny how there's a connection between Pantera and Metallica is when I moved from Dallas to Northern California outside of San Francisco. My roommate was the monitor engineer for Metallica. So RJ, his Metallica connection, my Pantera connection, and then my friends who are all in the thrash metal scene of East Bay. Just look it up, East Bay thrash scene, California.
Yeah.
You'll see all the names. It's funny that I never really wound up being in the thrash scene. I sang a little bit of metal for a while, and I decided that my future would be a little bit more like something in what the '90s was bringing us, where we had a lot of things mixed together, aka the Soundgarden type thing, and my voice kind of gravitated more toward that than the metal, so I decided to go that route.
So you started your own original metal band?
I had an original metal band in Dallas. We collaborated on writing. I thought that the writing style was of the time, and we had to evolve over time. So some bands got disbanded. I made moves to create songwriting that was a little more timeless, and I just kept thinking, well, do I really want to be singing this later on, we can see a lot of these '80s bands now that are touring and they're just really flogging it hard.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're not even really satisfied with their own set list, but the fans love them. And I just decided to augment my set list before I even actually released anything in the early metal realm.
Yeah, so interesting back then because a lot of the bands you're referring to were just starting off, and now there's like legacy, like Pantera and Metallica, and some of these bands like
Brett Michaels.
Brett Michaels. I'm sure there are some people you could probably name some people that you probably came across that people are probably like, whoa.
And I have immense respect for all the guys who have stuck with it, and they wrote those songs, and they would have kind of hoped to be a little bit more like the Eagles or something, a little bit more legendary and timeless. But they're doing songs that are a little poppy but it's fun times. The '80s rock was fun. It didn't really define me because I was really a little bit more into the scene in the '90s. So the sounds of Alice in Chains and Soundgarden were things that I was picking up on. But as I got better as a guitar player, I started being a little bit more enamored with people like Kenny Wayne Shepherd and things that are a little bit more rootsy. And I found that my voice having its textures really lends well to more the Americana style, aka coming from Skinner or coming from things with southern roots. So I've evolved quite a bit since the beginning.
So you actually were around for that transition from like the 80s to the 90s with the grunge scene. So you actually kind of saw the grunge kind of grow, right? So it's crazy. The grunge grew, it peaked, and it died. So you kind of like were with that whole wave, right? So a lot of the younger people now, they don't know what it was like. They don't know alternative and grunge, how it formed.
I think if you ask them, they probably have a cooler set list than I do.
Probably, depending on what.
They probably know more about music than you think. They just won't tell you because,
It's just funny. There's a lot of people out of here. Like I know it's a cliche, but Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, but they don't realize that that there was more to it before that. There was a lot of other good bands.
If I was to say where I was raised on like Led Zeppelin and The Who and things of that nature. My sister was really into Queen. Just unattainable vocal styles on these three groups, and the Beatles, of course. And it gets kind of intimidating when you're trying to follow in the footsteps of something as great as the mighty Led Zeppelin. And you're trying to write music for the masses that will impress people and satisfy them when a lot of things have already been conquered.
Exactly, and that's kind of what it is. It's kind of like creativity builds on creativity. We started off with the Beatles, bare bones, simple. So we build and build and build. Now it's almost like we're going back to that. A lot of people go back to original stuff. It's like a big cycle. How far can you go into the creativity with effects and adding stuff? At a certain point, it's going to peak. It's going to be fake. We want to keep original.
I find that it's quite interesting when you're a singer-songwriter. You pick up a guitar, maybe you throw a capo on it or not or what, and you make something that you feel is your jam, and you start writing something over the top of it. It's not like it was intentional that you're trying to write Stairway to Heaven or Freebird.
Exactly.
Those things probably just came really natural to the players when they wrote them originally. It wasn't like some preordained idea that I'm going to write Freebird.
Yeah, there's so many songs I hear these artists saying, "Oh, by accident, we're just messing around." Like there's like Sweet Child of Mine, Slash was just messing around with his leg. He thought it was dumb. Oh, let's put that in there, and everybody loves it.
And there's just not a whole lot of control over your own songwriting. You're gonna make a bunch of things and throw things at the wall and see what sticks. And
exactly.
Some will be good, and some people love my B cuts. Like I had a few friends who request the deep cuts. They're like, "Oh, no, I don't like the songs that you play all the time. That one that you almost never play, that's the one."
And that's what's funny. The one you think is probably like the worst, they like the best.
Gosh,
and that's what you said. You got to see how the audience reacts. You throw something out there, you might hate it, but they love it. Okay, cool.
And what's funny is it's likely something that you actually haven't rehearsed this month yet because it's not in the set list.
Right, it's just something you're messing around. Oh, we're just messing around. That sounds really good.
They'll call out a song and you're like, "Hey, everybody, you ready for this?"
Or you're up there playing on a chord singing. That's not even a song. Just messing around. Whoa, okay. But okay, so from there, so you had this metal band. So what happened? You guys just decided to dissolve it, or anything?
Well, it was I would call it an aluminum band. We weren't as heavy like Maiden or anything like that. It was just kind of on the edge of actually being a little bit like a band called TNT. Knights of the New Thunder. It was I was singing some pretty high notes, and the band was shredding, and it lasted about a year. And then when I relocated to the Bay Area of San Francisco in '95, I opened a studio and with a couple of partners, and we started producing. And I thought that my future would just be sitting in the studio producing records. And it was. So
Yeah.
I produced from 95 to 2016
Wow.
as my day job. And in 2006, I came on board at Guitar Player magazine and started doing equipment reviews and worked as a celebrity photographer for them.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of had like a second wind of my music career where
Yeah.
I was allowed to have access to every rock star I was ever a fan of, and it was really cool to meet all of my contemporaries and be
Yeah,
able to
that's-
photograph them and go to the NAMM shows and try out equipment. And
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I
And
can
it was
imagine the people
pretty
you must have
mind-blowing.
met. You must have met some pretty people that are pretty big and famous now, right? Like some pretty big stars.
yeah, there's a couple on my website, you know,
Yeah.
BrianTurnerPhotography.com with a Y.
There we go.
So, yeah.
Put the link down.
And I don't publish everything because if you publish a photo, you really can't sell it once
Yeah,
you publish. So,
exactly.
so if anybody wants to come browse my collection, they can come and visit. But
Yeah, I look at your
this-
Facebook page, pretty impressive. Every day, like a new one popping up. So that's pretty cool.
I think I'm very fortunate, and not alone. There's a lot of people in the music industry that keep this whole thing going. We want people to get the newest gear. We want people to aspire their children to learn how to play musical instruments and make themselves happy. You know, if I didn't have music, I don't think that I would be happy.
I'm with you.
And,
And it's funny you said that.
and
It's
the
like,
word happy, you know, there's a lot of things that come with it, but I'm just gonna go that simple.
no, that's good. It's funny because when I started this up, I said, I'm trying to think of, like I said, the type of business that's something everybody likes, something that's entertaining. And I was like, it's music. There's not any person I came across in my life that doesn't like music. I don't care how old you are, where you're from, everybody loves music. So there's a huge audience for it.
And everyone's got an elbow.
Yeah, that's right. right. Everybody's got to know about it. But music is just something that everybody loves in some sort of fashion. It may not be the same style, type, beat, but everybody loves music in general. All
And
right.
it makes for great conversation.
It does, it
And
really
you
does.
can meet anyone, anywhere. You could be on a bus, on a plane, on a train. Ask anyone of any age.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
what did you listen to in the last couple of days?
Right.
And they might blow your mind.
And some of the older people are like, they're still stuck with the Elvis. Oh, after Elvis, I heard and never heard anything else. That's all I know. Oh, wow, okay, that's cool. Hey.
But it's a culture. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a culture. Like there's diehard fans, and without the diehard fans, I think musicians
Yeah.
would struggle. It's
Yeah.
really good to have people show up night after night and be dedicated to the product and the songs.
No, it really is. There's fans that there's fans that fly over the world to see different bands. Like Metallica plays certain places, they come all over the world to see them. It's amazing.
And now with all of the 80s conversation, everybody
Yeah.
flies to Florida to
Yeah.
do these Florida Keys 80s rock concert things.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. I don't have $3,000 for a ticket though.
Yeah, it's a little
Isn't it
crazy.
the cruise ship now? I don't know. It's all fun though. I mean, music is fun. And
It is. It's cool.
you know,
You meet
I-
interesting people.
I don't know what to say. I've got kids, and my kids are learning how to play musical instruments.
Sorry about
And
that.
if my daughters come and say, "Dad, I want to be in a touring rock band," I really don't know what I'm going to tell them.
Yeah. Keep practicing.
It's just like, well, do you really want your daughter touring a?
Well, my daughter too. She plays the music. She played the Stone Pony already. She's 8 years old. She played the Stone Pony with her band twice. So,
And-
wow.
Yeah, well, my daughter just had her first 2 cello concerts, so we're getting there.
Amazing. So then after that, you from California, you're done with the studio thing. Then you decided to just write your own stuff and kind of do your own solo thing, or
Yeah, in the West Coast, it's a very complicated environment. A lot of my friends run studios there. Guitar Player was based there. I relocated to New Jersey in 2018 and put myself in the zone where I need to work on songwriting and performing, and my recording studio aspirations are installed. I have my studio, but I'm not taking clients until I release some product that I've been sitting on way too long.
okay.
It's nothing like having songs that you've been sitting on for who knows how many years, and you never really completed it and released it. And now with streaming platforms, it makes it quite a bit easier.
Yeah.
And I've got some friends working on things with me. And I've dropped into the Lake House Studios in Asbury and consulted with them on what we ought to do. And there's progress being made. And a lot of it actually has to play it live as much as possible before you lay it down.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it needs to have soul. So
Yeah,
I'm
see what
working
it's
on
like,
making
yeah.
sure that the music has a good amount of soul.
And what's the whole point in fun if you can't share it with people? You can make all the music you want, but it doesn't leave your bedroom. What's the point? So you have to bring it out there, share it with people. That's what it's for. It's entertainment. It's all these creative artists. They're so talented. Let the world hear them.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. So now you're just, what's your future plan here? You plan on just writing stuff, recording, touring, or where you plan on going from here?
That's a complicated question. Right now, the evolution of where my next steps, I'm going to release some music on streaming platforms and probably have some video work done to accompany them for YouTube. I think that there's been somewhat of a delay in releasing product for myself over time due to the fact that I'm trying to cultivate a set list of things that are a little bit more timeless that I can do for the rest of my career that are like I said, timeless.
Yes, exactly.
And cutting out the some of the things that harken to an era and maybe staying a little bit with something that's I can sing for the for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if you look at some bands
evergreen.
write things that they might not be able to support when they're in their later years.
So more like evergreen material versus kind of constantly always.
Evergreen material means it's always and you know there's a lot of obstacles. I think that when you're an engineer and you own a studio, you put things off and you never finish things sometimes. And I didn't say that I never finished things.
Yeah.
But maybe I just did. I don't know.
Right, exactly.
But I've got some help. I got some engineers working on things with me. You know, sometimes you have to get life together. A lot of musicians don't approach the concept of what it's like to have parenthood be right in the middle of being a performer and a recording cool guy. And you go on the internet and you see all these guys playing these shows, but you don't realize that they get up in the morning at 5 o'clock and they're making eggs for their kids and sending them to school, even though they look like rock stars on the web. They're really rock stars at home. And I think family life is extremely important to interject into the music industry to make people realize, or maybe allow them to realize, that it's a family thing. It comes from, and if you can play songs that your kids would want to listen to and that your grandmother might actually approve of, you're actually doing yourself a good service. If only people from 25 years old to 35 years old want to listen to that music, then the shelf life might be a little bit different for that particular music.
So you don't want to limit your audience, you want to keep it more of a broad audience.
And I think that I'm just expanding on the subject matter we had a second ago, where I'm trying to cultivate all of the songwriting I'm doing to be a lot more age appropriate across the entire spectrum. And it's a lot harder than you think, because you have to cut a lot of your material.
Because you're limited.
And so I'll have some releases coming out in the near future.
Okay.
I'm the Spacefire brand is for my rock band. I may release acoustic material under Brian Charles Turner. And who knows what it's going to be branded as. You need to hunt and peck and find it. I think if you recognize the sound of my voice, you'll find my music.
There you go. Love it. Okay. Voice to the music. So a couple other quick questions. So your songwriting style, is it more you come up with an idea in your head or like words, or is it more you're on your guitar, you come up with a cool rhythm, a melody? How do you put together your song? What's your style for writing a song?
Songwriting approaches come from a lot of different angles. Sometimes it's a technical thing that you're practicing with your fingers and you're like, oh, I want to see if I can pull this off. And once you get this pattern that you're training yourself on guitar, maybe that'll become a song because, now you've got it and it's a piece and it's part of the puzzle. They can come from those inspiration moments. But generally, I like to improv. I like to put a chord progression out and then close, and then put the guitar down, just have the guitar recorded and close my eyes and sing what I think is most appropriate through the emotion of the guitar pass. And a lot of the improvisational storylines, if they're working with the sound of the guitar, tend to work out pretty good, and I only have to move a couple words around and things are fine. And if you realize what a song, how much content is in a song, you have choruses and you have content. You're only saying 3 30-second stories and then another 20-second story over and over again. So you actually, for myself, I feel limited. I want to tell this big long story about once upon a time, but I got to cut it down. The hardest part is to make it so short but get the
And you have to have the
message
right
across.
words. You don't want to tell a story; it's gonna be boring. It's like a story. You want to hear it, then you have to create it with creative words where it actually sounds something good to listen to. So then you got to take even more of the story out. Then,
Well,
then you have a bridge. Okay, let me squeeze something interesting through the bridge, and you go back. You know.
Yeah, and to add to that, I describe this to other people when I'm a producer and I'm working on their songs. I'm like, well, say a guy walks into a bar, sits next to somebody else at the bar, and starts talking about his day, and he has a story.
Yeah,
He could talk for 1 minute, and that's more content than what we can fit into a song.
you're right. That's
So
a good one.
the craft for balancing songwriting is to being extremely effective with the words that you use, so that you can get to the point and get to the emotional content without spending 10 years getting to the point.
And that's so interesting that you said that. It kind of made me really think, like, people running out of ideas for songs, like, there's no limit. Like, look at Metallica, they're still writing songs. Because you could take one thing, one concept, and you could do maybe 5 albums just off that concept, and take another concept. So it just keeps going and going. You know, like, they'll have a theme to their new album, whatever it was, 360, I forget whatever the new album's called, and it's all based off that theme, they're writing songs. So, if you're a creative person, you could just write forever. You know?
I have a lot of material, some I'm proud of,
Yeah.
some
Hey.
might make good sketch comedy.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. How many good takes one good one, 100 bad ones.
Oh, and I want to add this is like something that is a need to know. So once upon a time, I was trying to annoy my sister,
Yeah.
and her bedroom was in a hallway across from mine,
Yeah.
and she would always make fun of me and do what sisters do. And then so one day I was trying to be extremely annoying, so I started doing animal imitations toward her bedroom door just to annoy her, because I knew that I had her. I had her. And then I started imitating a donkey sound.
Yeah.
And the donkey sound was just like, really, that it's like a migraine in
Right,
itself.
it's annoying, no?
It's the worst. And my sister came barging out of her bedroom,
Yeah.
and she approached me, and she said to me,
What?
she goes, "Oh my God, your donkey sounds exactly like Steven Tyler.
No way.
If you can sing like Steven Tyler, the girls are gonna like you." And then she ran back into her room.
That's a good
And
one.
I'm like, oh my, what just happened? I was trying to annoy my sister, and who
Bam, planted the seed in
is
your head.
this Steven Tyler guy? And I was 13 or
Yeah.
so. And then I got, I think it was
Were you
a
trying?
live bootleg on cassette
Oh shit.
from
Yeah.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, that is my donkey sound.
That's
I
a
gotta
good
work
one.
on this.
That's a good one.
It took a matter of years to get a little bit of the to go work from the animal sound to the human sound.
Yeah. No. That's
But it
nice.
all started
It all started with that.
with
You got
that
the
story.
That's a
That
good
was the
one.
beginning of me being a singer. Period.
Love it. That's good.
That's the core.
That's great. Okay, so you heard some little story time here. So Brian's gonna play 3 songs. You want to tell us about the songs now, or you can introduce them as you play them? But he's gonna do 3 live songs right here in the studio, and we're gonna let you guys hear them.
I think when I do the tunes, I'll just let the tunes speak for themselves.
Perfect. There we go. Anything
Yeah.
else you'd like to say to the audience?
I think it's awesome to be invited here. Thank you very much for the privilege of being part of the music scene here in New Jersey.
I appreciate you
I,
coming.
I think that it's important to covet every angle of music, whether it be 5-year-old kids learning to play guitars, or pro-level people who have 15 kick drums. It's a family, and I think we should never forget that we should support each other and try to always say something positive for your fellow musicians.
Amen to that. Couldn't agree more. All right, we're gonna put all his links down there to all his channels, his social medias. You guys can follow his Facebook. What do you have? YouTube, Instagram. What pages do you got? Spotify.
I have a Facebook page. It's got photography on it. It's got music on it. It's got links to all my other pages
Okay.
ad nauseum.
All right.
And I have some items on YouTube. If you want to reach me, just find me on Facebook, Brian with a Y, Charles Turner. Feel free to message me, say hi, follow me, do whatever. If you need support, if you need something built, written, assisted, Pro Tools, whatever, you can always reach out to me for advice, or maybe I can help you with song development. So
Hey, that's great.
just let me know.
That's great. You're open to help people out there, because that's all we need is work together in this business. So we really appreciate your time, and we're gonna close this up and set it up for the songs.
All right, thank you.
Hey, I'm Brian. How's it going? This is a song that I wrote in a single wide trailer with a friend of mine named Randy, somewhere in south of Dallas, Texas. standing on the corner somewhere at the end of time, cool breeze in his face. He left his past far behind, along with his faith. His mama said, now please don't you go. He turned up the stereo. Daddy said, turn over your keys. He said, Daddy, please, please, please. It's a long way, a hard way, cold way. Well, there ain't no way. You feel it right down in your soul when you tell your son, let me go. 'Cause it's a long road to home when you can't find which way is home. Long road to home, whoa, when you can't find which way is home. Well, it's a long way, hard way, a cold way. There ain't no way. You feel it right down in your soul when you tell your son, let me go. 'Cause it's a long road to home when you can't find which way is home. It's a long road to home when you can't find which way is. Can't find it, can't find it, yeah. Can't find which way is home. Can't find it, can't find it, yeah. Can't find which way is.
Nice, man.
Name of that song is Long Road. This song is called The Table. Drifting further to the edge of everything that you want to be. Hold the throttle wide open. You'll get there fast, but it won't be free. Giving chances to please your spirit. You turn them down 'cause it's too personal. Screw your eyes shut against the future, 'cause you don't know where you want to go. Why, yeah. Now you're thinking about the reasons and the excuses for which you are to blame. Time you bring some of your love to the table before your time here has come to an end. And I said, whoa, bring me your sunshine. Whoa, bring me your peace. Whoa, bring me your sunshine. Oh, bring me your peace. Whoa, bring me your sunshine. Whoa, bring me your peace. Whoa, bring me your sunshine. Whoa, 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 yeah. Whoa, bring me your sunshine. Whoa, bring me your peace, mama. Whoa, bring me your sunshine. Oh, bring me your, oh, bring me your, oh, bring me your peace.
Perfect.
This song is called I Will Ride. Sun is shining on my back and it feels so warm. Feel like I can go on for miles. But this weakness that comes to me out of the blue like a beautiful tree. And I wanna see the end. I will ride when I say alright. I will go where the four winds do not blow. I've got the night on my side. It won't be easy to survive. I will ride. Braces your lips and burns them. All you feel is the rush to your head. It seems to take you there, yeah, yeah. And you seem to enjoy the rush. All the time you wanna feel that push. And you wanna see the end. I will ride when I say alright. I will go where the four winds do not blow. I've got the night on my side. It won't be easy to survive. I will ride. Oh, oh yeah. Well, I don't know why this feeling comes from inside. If you would just read my mind, you'd hear this say alright, I will go where the four winds do not blow. I've got the night on my side, it won't be easy to survive. I will write, whoa, whoa, yeah. I will write when I say alright. I will go where the four winds do not blow. Got the net on my side, it won't be easy to survive. I will write.